Have you ever had a moment? My wife said this to me about a month ago. She goes, I'm not sure how to describe this to you, but I feel like I forgot how to breathe. Because I've had anxiety before, I have perfect understanding of what she means. And maybe that probably struck a chord with some of you that are listening, where all of a sudden you think to yourself, I got to breathe more. I have to breathe faster and I have to breathe deeper. Nothing has changed. There's no immediate threat in the room with you. No one has jump scared you. No one's come out and tried to grab you and pull you into a van, teach you how to trade. These whole things of spontaneous anxiety, they may start off mildly like feeling like I can't catch my breath. Something's going on. If I don't consciously think about breathing, I feel like I'm going to stop. And what happens if I stop breathing? I'm probably going to die. And if this happens right before you go to sleep, guess what you're not doing? Sleep. So if you have problems with sleep, I don't have problems with sleep. Okay, when I talk about my sleep schedule, I have doctors tell me, you need to have 8 hours of sleep. Bullshit. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. When I was a working man, I needed 9 hours of sleep. I needed that because I was already keyed up as an individual. That's why I don't drink caffeine. I don't drink coffee. As a trader, if you don't have a complete mastery of yourself and you're drinking stimulants like coffee because it has caffeine in it, what you're doing is you're literally pouring gas on a fire. And if you're not careful, you will cause yourself health problems later on that you really don't want. There's a right way to do this, folks. And you can live in a very balanced state. And you hear me talk and I sound imbalanced now because I want to maintain your attention. That's what this is. It's all about making sure that you don't fall asleep. Because it's real easy to fall asleep listening to me because it's not about making money right now. But it is about making money. You can't make money consistently until you master yourself, until you subdue these intrusive thoughts, until you subdue these demons that you're wrestling with that you have made house guests. You turn a blind eye. Oh yeah, it's fucking Joe. He doesn't have a job. Always sits around, plays fucking Xbox all day long, eats up everything, doesn't buy anything, never takes a fucking bath. He stinks the whole house all up. But he's now part of the furniture here. He's a staple here in the house. So I don't like to interact with them, but I know they're there. I can't do anything to get him out. I don't want to kick him out. He's a loved one. He's a family member. That's what you've done with these demons, these things that you hold on to. You guard them. You protect them. Instead of saying, get the fuck out of here, you don't belong here. You have no more business here. You're not holding me back no more. You're not a problem for me anymore. Get the fuck out. Replace it with something positive. I'm scared to take a trade. Why? Why are you afraid to take a trade? Because you have no model. You don't have a model because you had this demon constantly telling you that's not going to work. Don't even bother putting any time into this. You're going to sit here and look back and I wasted 3 months if you get that far into it. And you're going to half-ass it when you say you're journaling. You're going to scribble a couple fucking words, draw a little diagram of something, draw, swing high or swing low, and draw a line there and say, that's an order block. Look, I did the journal. Look at this. This guy's a liar. Bro, I have people that have showed their journals to me, and they're like the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's volumes of shit. That's somebody that's going to do so much in the industry. It's crazy. Like, that's exactly the high end of what I'm encouraging and promoting you. You don't need to be that far with it. But you have to record your progress. You have to record that. Otherwise, how can you reasonably comfort yourself when you feel like you want to quit? What do you have to hang your hat on when you feel like you don't want to do it anymore because you had a week of drawdown? What happens when you blow your account? What happens when you lose your funded account? What happens when you can't pass that funded account challenge and you don't have the money to spend on it again until the next paycheck? And then you got to wait. And you're thinking to yourself, maybe if I don't pay Netflix, maybe if I get rid of this and I get rid of that. Well, that's probably a good thing if you did that because watching TV is bullshit. I don't watch TV. I have old shows on Blu-ray. If I want to watch a movie, chances are it's probably something old because they don't have all that woke bullshit in it. But I watch very little of any entertainment stuff. I watched the Deadpool movie in the theater with my sons, and that was it. That's the most recent thing. I don't like to go to theaters anymore. To me, it's a terrible waste. I have a theater in my house. I don't need to go there and sit in something that's dirty. Be around people on their cell phones and talking bullshit. I can do all that stuff in my own house. I have a nicer theater in my home. If you don't have the progress report that you have encouraged yourself along the way and acknowledging where what you're learning didn't work in your hands that day, and you say, I'm glad I had the opportunity to see this fail, because now I can go in and discover more about what it is I didn't know at the time when I took this idea. See that? Is that something that you as a child, if you watch your child try to do something, try to learn how to ride a bike, you took the training wheels off, you've been walking with them holding the seat, and now you want to let go, and you tell them, Timmy, Daddy's got you, but I know if I let go for a minute, you'll be fine. Trust it. Just keep pedaling. And you let go. And what happens if they panic and they fall down? Are you going to scold him? No. You're going to get him up, brush his knees off, his hands off, and say, hey, look, you know what? You did good just doing that right there. And you're not dead. You're not bleeding out. You didn't break a bone. But now let's get back on here and do it again. And they may fuss and say, I'm afraid. But what are you going to do? You're going to encourage them. That's what you do with yourself in your journal. You have to be a good parent in your journal. You are refining your future self. If you don't care about yourself, if you don't really love yourself, you're going to discover that in journaling. That's why these social media influencers are so fucking toxic. Because they hate themselves. They are not where they want to be at. And they are looking to outside influences, their audience members, to worship them and lift them up on a pedestal. Because they need that. They need that more than they need money. I don't need that, and I don't encourage it. And I don't need fucking money. And I'm teaching for free. I'm spending my Saturday morning with y'all. I'm hanging out with you on a non-monetized medium. Just talking, trying to encourage some friends of mine. That's all I'm trying to do here. But I bet you probably never thought about things like this. And that should be encouraging to you, because chances are you were probably thinking about it differently and much more toxic. And the metrics of measuring what your expectations were and what you're willing to put yourself through are far out of spec based on what I just said here. Isn't this a whole lot more comforting? If you approach your learning this way, would you not agree that yes, it takes some time to sit down and journal those things? If you don't want to do that, number one, it's shining a huge spotlight on the fact that you don't care enough about yourself and your future success to even consider it. But you're probably the same person that can entertain the idea of going to college. You probably were willing, unless you got a scholarship or your parents paid for your college. You took on student debt that you can't write off, just like taxes. I mean, you can't escape it. But you were willing to go through the process of putting yourself into long-term debt on something you were not even assured was going to be a profitable venture for you. Yeah, I want to be a marine biologist. Yeah, I want to be a psychologist. I want to study philosophy. Why the fuck do people go to college to get a degree in philosophy? I don't understand that. You read the Bible, read some, well-maintained texts, and you're going to get a better understanding of philosophy than you would from these bullshit indoctrination centers. But you're willing to put yourself through that 4 years or longer if you're going for a higher degree, PhD, master, something to that effect, to get to the degree of what I'm showing you with technical science. You want to get a PhD in technical science through ICT, the College of ICT, the School of Hard Fucking Knocks, because that's what this is. We don't have campus fucking parties. We don't have keg parties. We don't throw TP over the fucking trees and get drunk. We take it serious around here. We are, if trading head colleges. I'm the Ivy fucking League of it. Okay, that's just the way it is. I produce winners. I produce people that give a fuck about themselves. And when they learn how to do this, their esteem is really high. Their self-worth, extremely high. And to weaker people around them, it seems like narcissism. It seems like arrogance. And that's just you reflecting your own insignificance because you've beat yourself down. You've let other people do that. They're holding you back. You're holding yourself back because you think toxic thoughts all the time. When I was going through agoraphobia in 2001, 2002, 2003, it was all based on the 9/11 attack. Like I was terrified. I had people that were not just me. I don't think I would have had this happen to me if I didn't have a wife and kid. If I didn't have that, I think I would have been like, well, yeah, I gotta be on keep my head on a swivel. It is what it is. But because I had family members that I had brought into this world with my wife that are not capable of taking care of themselves, and I have a wife that doesn't look at the world the way she does today, but back then she just was like anything else. Back then we didn't have social media like we have it today. But she used to watch TV news all the time. Every time news would be on, she's watching it. And I'm like, do you realize that nothing good just came off that fucking television? And you want to constantly come back to it? And then you start doing 10 o'clock news. Because 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock news wasn't enough. Now we got to get 10 o'clock. Because we got to prep you for the 11 o'clock news. And it's always bad, toxic shit. So I was always listening to, in the background, the terror threat's been raised from yellow to orange. That's what they used to do back then. They constantly were priming us to live in fear. And it worked on me. That was the weakest time of my life where I was allowing these assholes to convince me that impending doom was going to happen at any moment. And I was being indoctrinated. I was being brainwashed, like most people back then. And we just watched it now. There's still people driving the fuck around with masks by themselves with their windows rolled up in their car. What the hell's going on? And that's exactly what I told everybody on Twitter, this very app, in 2019. Watch what they're getting ready to do. And here you go. And it ain't done. We're getting ready to hit the real show. And I would be out of my mind with anxiety if I hadn't learned what I'm about to teach you. Everybody has stress. Everybody has stress. That's part of life. Jesus said you're going to have tribulation in this world, but not everybody's going to go through great tribulation.